Simple reflex agents. When a task stays the same every time, what you need is speed and reliability rather than complex thinking. A reflex agent handles this by reacting the instant a situation shows up, checking what the current input looks like and producing the same fixed response. It doesn't remember what came before, and it doesn't think about the future. Every moment is treated as brand new and identical to anything else that matches the pattern. This approach makes sense when the world is straightforward and predictable, and when you can write rules clear enough that the correct action is obvious. Think about an email spam filter that blocks messages with specific words, a thermostat that turns on heating when the temperature drops past a set point, or a basic keyword chatbot that sends people to predetermined answers. These systems are fast and dependable in their limited domain, but they break down when inputs get messy, when someone tries to game them, or when the environment changes. Keeping your conditions clear, adding protection against weird inputs, and watching how things behave when something shifts helps prevent these breakdowns. Rules work great for stable problems, and when they stop working, that's your signal to move toward agents that can handle information beyond what's directly visible. Model-based and deliberative agents. A lot of decisions need you to know about things that aren't sitting right in front of you. Model-based agents solve this by keeping a simplified version of how the world operates and how actions affect it, then using that version to think things through before acting. They gather sensor data, update what they know internally, imagine how different actions might unfold across multiple steps, pick the one that leads somewhere better, and make adjustments when fresh information comes in. This setup allows smart behavior when the environment has hidden elements or effects that show up later. A warehouse robot that builds a map of shelves and paths to get around a blocked aisle fits this category, along with a chess program that explores move sequences to reach winning positions. Problems crop up when the model is too simple to give accurate predictions or so complicated that making decisions takes forever, and when the model gradually drifts out of sync with reality. Selecting just enough detail to support good decisions, simplifying where speed matters, and updating the model with new observations keeps things running smoothly. Once an agent can think ahead like this, giving it a clear destination and tracking progress toward that target becomes the natural next step. Goal-based agents. Having clear outcomes makes it much easier to evaluate and improve what an agent does. Goal-based agents work around this concept by choosing and sequencing actions to hit a specific end result, like getting to a location or putting objects into a particular arrangement. At every step, they check where they currently are against where they need to be, pick a move that closes the distance, and keep going until they either reach the target or figure out it's impossible. This straightforward framework powers practical tools like GPS navigation, which calculates routes that cut down travel time given certain limits, and puzzle-solving robots that chain moves together to match a required pattern. Typical issues include goals that can't actually be reached, goals that contradict each other, or paths that seem promising in the short term but lead to dead ends. Simple practicality checks, priorities that spell out which targets are most important, and search techniques that allow backtracking help deal with these problems. Stating the destination directly transforms knowledge into focused progress, and it also brings up a common real-world question. When multiple paths work, which one performs best when you have competing preferences? Answering that question requires a new step up. Utility-based agents. Real-life settings involve compromises, and just reaching a single goal doesn't tell the whole story. Utility-based agents tackle this by giving numerical scores to outcomes that reflect set preferences like safety, time, cost, comfort, and risk, then choosing actions expected to produce higher scores overall, rather than excelling in only one field. They forecast what's likely to happen with each option, estimate how appealing each result would be, and go with the choice that handles competing concerns most effectively. In a self-driving car, this might mean taking a small detour for safer road conditions instead of a quicker but more dangerous lane change. In a recommendation system, it means ordering items by predicted satisfaction when you only have so much screen space. Badly designed scoring can create behavior that hits the numbers but misses the overall point, and inaccurate probability estimates can steer decisions in the wrong direction. Converting objectives into things you can measure, checking for unwanted side effects, and improving based on actual feedback keeps these mistakes under control. Scored decisions shift the question from "can we do this" to "what's the best way to do it right now?" And that naturally leads to systems that improve their own performance through what they experience. Learning agents. Fixed rules and fixed scores eventually hit situations their creators never imagined. Learning agents rely on data and feedback to modify themselves and get better over time. They take action, see what happens, and update their internal settings so that good decisions become more common going forward, and bad ones become less likely. The signals they work with can be direct corrections, numeric rewards, or indirect hints like clicks and completion rates, and the changes can affect simple cutoffs, complicated models, or entire decision strategies. Examples range from game-playing systems that refine tactics through repeated matches, to voice assistants that get better at understanding a particular user's accent and word choices over time. Dangers show up when the agent memorizes weird details from the past instead of learning general lessons, picks up bias from unbalanced feedback, or performs worse when a user's circumstances abruptly change. Keeping some data separate for testing, preventing the system from becoming too focused on past examples, updating it gradually, and watching how it performs in real use with the ability to undo changes if needed can help reduce these risks. Experience converts manual tweaking into an ongoing improvement cycle, and it makes it easier to combine quick reactions, planning, goals, and trade-offs in a single system. Hybrid and multi-agent systems. No single method works for everything, so mixing approaches is standard practice. Hybrid agents layer techniques together. A fast reflex component deals with immediate reactions. A planner suggests sequences that look several moves ahead. A goal or utility layer establishes direction and trade-offs, and a learning part adjusts behavior based on outcomes. Multi-agent systems take this idea further by spreading work across multiple agents that coordinate through shared information, signals, or direct messages. Drone swarms demonstrate this pattern clearly when some drones survey terrain, others carry packages, and a coordinator shifts roles around as battery levels and weather conditions change. Robotic football teams offer another case, moving defenders and attackers depending on where the ball is, how much time remains, and what the opponent does. These systems can achieve things no individual agent could manage alone, but they bring communication constraints, clashing objectives, and group behaviors that are tough to anticipate. Clear roles, communication rules that work within network limits, shared goals, and safety guidelines that stop dangerous group behavior help keep teamwork effective. Once coordination is set, the way agents interact with the world, whether through their bodies, through language, or both, becomes the next factor that shapes what they can do. Embodied and conversational agents. People want useful action in physical space and straightforward answers in conversation, and agents can deliver both when they're designed around the right interface. Embodied agents move through environments using motors and perceive with sensors. They have to figure out where they are, plan movement, execute controls, and make corrections using visual or force feedback. Conversational agents work through language by interpreting requests, keeping track of context, pulling up or calculating information, and generating responses that people can trust and use. Service robots that retrieve items or direct visitors represent the embodied side, while voice assistants like Alexa and modern chatbots show the language side by setting timers, answering questions, and managing devices within permissions. Mistakes in perception, vague language, delays, and safety around people remain ongoing concerns. And best practice involves confirming actions that carry risk, backing off when confidence drops, limiting what can be done in sensitive contexts, and explaining limitations in plain terms. Making the interface match everyday tasks helps people use these agents more easily. And wide adoption depends on infrastructure that ties together data, tools, and workflows in ways that actually make sense for real-world use. Modern agent platforms. For agents to work reliably at larger scales, they need an environment that gives them access to data, tools, memory, scheduling, monitoring, and secure execution. current platforms provide these components so that agents can handle complete tasks across software and the web. They start tasks, grant carefully limited permissions to tools, save intermediate results, deal with failures through retries or alerts, and log everything that happened for review and refinement. When one piece of software needs help from another, it uses a simple interface called an API, which is basically a standard way for one program to send a request and another to respond. Web crawlers that gather and organize pages, research tools that find information and write summaries with citations, and digital assistants that read from spreadsheets and send updates all rely on this kind of teamwork between systems. The biggest risks include using tools the wrong way, not having the right permissions, weak links between different parts, costs that grow out of control, and mistakes that nobody notices. Good practices like giving each tool only the access it needs, testing in safe spaces, setting limits on how often and how much they can spend, keeping track of their health, and having people check important work help keep everything reliable. Once these basics are in place, the next step is not just teaching systems to handle single tasks, but helping them get better at learning in new situations and unfamiliar areas. Continuous and meta-learning agents. Environments change, and agents that stop learning get left behind. Continuous learning systems refresh their knowledge as fresh data shows up, while meta-learning systems go a step further by improving how they learn so they can pick up new skills faster from smaller amounts of examples. This double-layer improvement enables long-term capability across shifting tasks, contexts, and fields. Open-ended game agents illustrate how strategies can keep evolving as opponents and rules shift. Lifelong learning robots show how navigation and manipulation can advance across different homes, labs, and warehouses without throwing away earlier knowledge. The major risks are losing what was learned previously as data management grows out of hand, amplifying small mistakes into bigger problems, and rolling out unsafe updates into active systems which could break them. Keeping examples from earlier tasks, using methods that preserve previous capabilities, measuring uncertainty to hold off on risky changes, and releasing updates gradually help control these risks and maintain stable performance over time. By adapting both what they do and how they learn to do it, agents stay useful as time goes on, and the most capable systems in real use weave together reflexes, models, goals, utilities, learning, coordination, physical form, conversation, and platforms into a single evolving system that keeps getting better.